Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live, your favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also, you guys are going to do follow us on Twitter at TheMarkJohnNFL, at BD Williams 18. We got PandaSups.com as well. Use TDL for 35% off. All right. So yeah, Panda Supplements, PandaSups.com. Use TDL for 35% off. All right, BD. So we're gonna talk about this ugly loss. You got to miss the instant reaction to give your instant thoughts on it, and with instant emotions. Definitely have calmed down since then, and it's still damn ugly. You know what I'm saying? Offense was just was frustrating to watch in the second half. I would say that, and they just didn't have a lot of options, and it felt like they weren't trying to. It's hard to explain really the offense. I mean, it just they were just out of sync in the second half. It looks like they weren't even just on the same page, and everybody was dropping balls. The offensive line started sucking, so it was just that was part of the collapse. So it was just a big, ugly collapse in my opinion. The offensive line went down. People started dropping passes. They couldn't block anymore. Then Derek Carr's missing people, and then it was all over the place. But and of course there's
Yeah.
fumbles and all that good stuff. So, BD on your side, how did the second half collapse look to you?
Well, the funny thing is, the reason why I couldn't make the live reaction, I was seeing my niece. So, there was a short window of time that I could see her. I was in Chicago over the weekend. So I watched the first half of the game, and when we were leaving to go to the restaurant, my wife said, "Oh, you must feel pretty good because the Raiders are up 20-0." And I said, "Watch them blow this lead." I said that to my wife. Okay, and I know a lot of people got, like I was like, wow, like dang, really disappointed that happened. Obviously, like they had it in the bag, they blew a lot of cash right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not shocked by the Raiders anymore, man. Like this is something that we've been dealing with as fans for a while. We always think that they've turned the corner. We're seeing these kind of ugly losses back to back. It's like not a good start to the Josh McDaniels tenure, gotta
Yeah,
say. And I mean, more than just like the way that it transpired and how they lost that game, to me, I'm starting to question a little bit McDaniels and this coaching staff if they're really as good as what we thought they were going to be, right? Like, this channel, we were like thinking like these guys were going to come out with the adjustments,
mm-hmm.
but so far, two games in a row, it's the other team that's coming out with the adjustments,
Yeah,
on them. So, and I'll talk about that a little bit too with the second half collapse of the defense. But I'm starting to wary on these coaches a little bit and think maybe they're not as good as we thought.
yeah. It's a lot of that too, and I can tell Josh McDaniels is being really simple with his offense. I'm seeing a lot of the same concepts. I'm seeing a lot of the same things over and over. I mean, they're not getting too creative yet, and I feel like that's kind of hurting them a little bit too. Because I mean, they ran Haas Z Juke at least like 5 or 6 times, right? And over and over and over again. To be honest, I mean, it could have worked 800 times, and they probably could have ran it every single play. But the defense the Cardinals were playing, but you can tell that they're being really simple right now, and trying to keep things really so guys aren't thinking too much out there because there is a lot to this offense, and I think especially at times you can tell a lot of guys don't know the checks. Sometimes they look confused. One play action play. They switched to Cart actually changed the play. Foster Moreau getting the ball, and I think he got like a 19-yard play on it off the play action. But Matt Collins didn't know the play. He didn't know the check, so he looks confused. And Hunter Renfro and Matt Collins really don't run a route, right? So they're confused out there a little bit still. They're still learning and trying to figure things out. So I mean that's not good on offense. And I think Derek Carr got a little spread the ball happy, which I'm not happy about. I think a lot of people want him to spread the football around, and I think that got a little crazy at this point. Some of the throws, especially in this offense, I know he could throw where he wants to throw the ball. right? And I know he can decide that. And I think he made some decisions to throw to other people when he didn't have to. So I'm gonna go over a little bit of that. So and also I thought Josh Jacobs was actually phenomenal, but he didn't get help from his run blocking, but he
Right.
forced 5 missed tackles, and I thought he was phenomenal. And he actually gets some run blocking for once. It'll be a lot better. But Dylan Parham was awful at center. I don't know what happened. He was awful at center. So it did not look good for him at all.
Really.
Yeah, he was bad, man. Mumford didn't play well either. You could tell. One thing I want to speak on too is the offensive line rotations is a huge problem. It's the first sack of the game. Cotton and Luminor have bad communication. Illuminor is expecting help from inside, so he allows Watt to go inside, and then he gets beat. And he's looking at Cotton like, well, where the hell are you?
Yeah.
Right? And then later on in the game, there is I think it's a run blocking play, or maybe no, actually it's the play where Derek Carr gets his arm hit and almost gets picked off by JJ Watt. And a lot of people are trying to say that was a fumble or whatever. On that play, there Mumford is supposed to keep helping inside, but he comes off the stunt too early, so Parham doesn't have the leverage to push this guy away, and it causes pressure. And Derek Carr has Adams wide open. He's about to throw it to him, and then he gets his arm hit, right? So that's the offensive line rotation. Those are just ugly right there. That's a big issue too. I don't know what the hell they're doing with that, and that's you're going back to coaching. That's coaching, man. It's dumb at this point. Like you've been in the NFL, you played football. How long you been around football? These are guys who've been around football almost 20 years coaching in the NFL, and they're rotating offensive linemen. And then you got offensive linemen having miscommunications, getting your quarterback hit. You know what I mean? And then almost having a fumble or throwing interception inside the 5 because of miscommunications between them. So, and it is literally the right guard and the right tackle having the miscommunications. So
Yeah.
it's everybody else on the left, they're fine, right? They've all played together for a while. Even they bring Andre James back. James, Simpson, and Miller have all played together. They played a whole year together, right?
Yeah.
They got what, like 16, 17 starts together at this point, right? Or even more than that, like 19, right? 19 starts or something like that together, even if you include the playoffs. So you know there's continuity there, and they're able to. They don't have those mistakes that the other side is having because these guys don't know each other. They don't know a lot of the things. A lot of these guys are new, so I think it's a big issue.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. That's I mean, it's an interesting approach having the rotation there and just keep on some guys in. I'm curious. Is it like this guy gets a series and this guy gets a series kind of rotation, or is it like on pass plays, Illuminor is tends to be in, and then on run plays, like another guy. Is that what it looks like?
it's kind of like rec basketball with like kids. First quarter
Yeah.
Illuminor, second quarter Mumford, third
Right.
quarter Illuminor and Mumford mix it up, and then the best guy plays in the fourth. I feel like that's kind of what they're doing. But I mean, that's what it feels like. But Illuminor, he was getting his butt kicked all game by JJ Watt, so he didn't have a
Yeah.
good game either. But some of it was miscommunications and stuff like that. I know that the first block, I mean, people were gonna try to kill him for that, but he was expecting help inside, so you can't really, it's a little bit on Cotton too. Cotton's got to help him, and they got to work together, and they got to know these things. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Right.
problem. Because the offensive line was literally a problem this half. They could not block a soul. And the thing is, the Cardinals stopped blitzing too. The Cardinals, they were blitzing them like crazy the first half, right? And they're getting picked apart, right? They're just getting the ball quick, pow, pow, hitting guys, hitting quick catches, hitting Darren Waller over the middle, hitting a bunch of guys over the middle. They're moving the ball. They're getting 20 yards at a pop and some of these little short passes. And so they stopped. They're like, okay, all right. So we'll just sit here, play cover 4, play cover 5 on the other side with I don't know how that works, PD, but they're playing quarters on one side and they're playing man with the safety over the top on with Adams was outside and letting Brian Murphy, who actually he played Adams pretty damn good on the outside to be honest, who and let him kind of have help over the top and then play trail
Yeah.
a little bit and just in case so he could play all everything underneath and
Right.
have somebody over top. So they had a good game plan for him outside. I just they didn't have a good game plan for him inside though, which I thought they should have exposed more. But
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, they're gonna see coverages like that. They're gonna see these kind of designer coverages for sure. When you got a guy like Devontae Adams, yeah, they're gonna sell out. And so, if that's the case, really, it's you would have preferred to have seen other guys like Waller, eat today, on Sunday. But unfortunately, that didn't happen.
yeah,
Something that I feel like before we get into the film reviews, something that I feel like is not being talked about enough, really, to me, the common theme, like the common denominator between these two losses
yeah,
is the turnovers. I mean, the
yeah,
first game that they talked, that's all they talked about was Derek Carr's interceptions. But this game, like these fumbles late in the game, like that really hurt this team's chances. I mean, absent those things, I mean, this team is on track to win that game.
yeah. I mean, even Hunter Renfro fumbled twice. He's got what, like 9 fumbles since 2021, something like that. It's really crazy how much he's fumbling, and that's a huge problem, right? And if it's we talk I'm saying we talk about Derek Carr's fumbles. I mean Hunter Renfro he's got to stop fumbling too, right? I mean that really cost him the game. I mean we talk about who lost the game. They lost the game on him getting hit by Isaiah Simmons and Brian Murphy picking it up and running into the end zone. I mean that's how they lost. So you could put all a different context into it, but that's the reason. I mean the ball went up there, it hit the ground. Brian Murphy scooped it up and they ran in. So um, even though I still think he tossed that ball early, but whatever. I'm not gonna. I was there live. He touched that part early, but yeah, it is what it is. There was some bad calls in that game, like some of the holdings and stuff like that. But I mean, to me, they had a chance to put that game away. So
Yeah, they did. So
mm-hmm.
that's what really the conversation should be about. I mean, there's definitely some preventable things on defense that really steps that could have been taken to mitigate some of this, like some of these numbers that they were putting up in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really disappointed with Patrick Graham's adjustments. You know what I mean in this one. Maybe I can just like run the tape then. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's go.
I'll just jump into it right here. So Patrick Graham's adjustments. This is a second half defensive collapse here, and the number one area that they targeted this Cardinals team was the hook curl defender. Now the hook curl in a cover two is just like it is in a cover three. We got these two hook inside hook curl zones, which is right outside the hash, 2 yards outside the hash. That's where the zone starts. Okay, and then instead of having a nickel or a safety out here in the curl flat, we just have our corners out there, and then we have 3 deep defenders, including the high hole player. So it's just like it is in a cover three, the hook curl defenders. This time we're sending a simulated pressure, so Chandler Jones is actually dropping into the hook curl. Okay, and this is something that Kyler Murray just sees immediately. He knows, oh, I got a guy who is not used to being out there. Let me just toss this, flick it right there into the curl. Okay, notice Chandler Jones starts out in the hook. Okay, and really, I would say I would prefer to see Chandler Jones kind of just look at and instead of dropping towards the field, dropping with his eyes on the wide receiver, and maybe he makes a play on this, but he's not going to be in that situation very often. Obviously, they're trying to throw a curve ball right there. Here's another one. This time they are in cover three, hook curl defender. Notice Diablo holding the hook. They throw it to the curl and get these easy completions. Here's another one. Amik Robertson, red zone cover two, holding the hook. They throw to the curl for a touchdown. Right, here's another one. 1, 2, 3 receivers to the bottom of the field. Okay, we got the Diablo getting that run action. Holding that hook. They throw right to the curl. Okay, for easy 5, 6 yards. It happened all game, and really, we didn't see an adjustment to take this away until the very last drive, in overtime. Now, here's another one. We got a nasty look over here. We got quads to the bottom of the screen. Okay. We got Deron Harmon. He's the cover safety. He goes to the passing strength in place of Trayvon Merrick. He's given a check out. Okay. We got, quads, quads, quads. We're giving a check. The whole defense. We're keying over here. Guess what? It's not going over there. It's going to this nub side tight end on a little check release. Beautiful design. Okay. Got beat. But here's really the worst part here. Okay. Watch this corner. He's a DB. Go attack. Right? Go forward. Okay? Does he make the tackle? No, but he pushes this guy back inside. That's what he's supposed to do. Okay? So he at least gets 1 point for forcing the ball carrier back inside. Look at Jonathan Abram here. Okay? He gets a blocker. Engage. Shoves him. Right? That's what you want to see. Now look at Jaron Brown. Passive, passive, passive. Playing patty cake, backing up. Look what happens. He gets absolutely destroyed. And this tight end runs right behind that block, okay, for an easy first down. Bad execution. Jaron Brown, you got to attack that guy. Here's another one, okay? This time, Amik Robertson goes, forces, back inside. This time, Devon Diablo, we're having a hard time disengaging off these blocks this time. Okay, we want to really, Devon Diablo, we want him to get underneath this guy's pads, use his hands, stay square, disengage, and maybe he makes the tackle right here, short of the sticks, but it goes for an extra 4 yards for a first down. Okay, now, this only happened twice in this game, but when plays like this happen multiple times for an offense during the course of a game, big fade routes down the sideline, okay, 9 times out of 10, you're looking at the team who's going to win that game. Correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus. You see teams completing this go ball down the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good indicator. They're probably going to win this game. Here we go. Rocky scene. And on the bottom of the screen, this is the only catch he gave up in this game. I think initially he does a good job staying square, but you see him kind of guess there. You see him open it up inside, and then the receiver goes outside. That's really all it took for him to just be in a trail position for the rest of this rep. And I really wish that he got his head around at some point to find the ball. You see him playing through the receiver's hands and, just kind of hawking him down and never locating the ball. This receiver was fully engaged hand all the way out for, quite a while on this one. But, you're not ever going to get offensive pass interference. But really, this rep was lost right here when he guessed. And he turned inside. Now here's another one. Okay, there's a theme. I'm not showing just one-offs. Okay, if I say it, that means I saw it. It happened multiple times on film. So that's what we're looking at today. Here we go, Amik Robertson. We're going to get that. They call it a squirt release. Bam. Fast to the outside. We're getting the slot fade. They know we're in man coverage. Amik Robertson. Okay, look. Oh, yeah. Playing through the hands. Okay, get that contact key before turning your head. Everything's right. But what happens? He just gives up a catch. He just gives up a touchdown right there, man. That hurts. Especially because he was doing everything he possibly could and he just got dunked on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
good lord.
That hurts. Okay, now, biggest elephant in the room, QB run game. It was a problem. We go, Max Crosby. He's on a contained rush, jumps inside to stop the run, realizes, oh, not a run, let me get outside to my contained rush. For some reason, though, dives inside. Lets Murray go. It's okay if Murray escapes you back the other way. Don't let him get out there. No one else is out there. Right? We got to contain this guy. Okay,
hungry for a sack, bro. Hungry for a sack instead of just making a play.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. Chandler Jones also guilty of it. He did a better job containing on his side, but we see it rear its ugly head. And biggest thing is, when rushing against guys like Kyler Murray, the guys who can make you pay with their legs, okay, give your secondary a chance, all right, to make a play because we're in these man looks, cover 5. We're in the best coverages to defend the pass. Give them a chance to make the play. Keep this guy inside the pocket. Chandler Jones right here, he gets way too far upfield, way past Kyler Murray here, okay, and doesn't do a good enough job retracing and getting back. We can't give him these wide open alleys. That goes for Mahomes. That goes for Herbert. That goes for Josh Allen. That goes for Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, right? There's plenty of quarterbacks in the NFL who are going to take advantage if you rush like this, right? So, got to be more disciplined in your rush. Raiders did a poor job of it. There was lapses at times, okay? Now, here's another look that they went into. A little speed option. I like it. This is a good look, okay? Because look, we're in man coverage. The force defender who has the pitch is way back here. He doesn't get that run key for a while. It's an easy 8-yard gain, almost for free. By the time he gets tackled, touched, it's at 6-7 yards already. Okay, and you would think that the Raiders could come up with a solution for this. No, they just ran the same exact thing later on in the game. Okay, for even more yards, even worse result for the defense here, okay? And, again, Jayon Brown, he needs to be outside of this, okay? And we see him having a hard time disengaging off blockers. Okay, we really missed Denzel Perryman in this game. We win this game. Raiders win this game if Denzel Perryman's here. Guaranteed. So, didn't adjust or to that either. There was a here, I'm gonna remove this. There was another one, obviously the one where Kyler Murray's running around, like a chick with his head cut off, and it's like a 30-second play, and he finally ends it, and he runs in. Getting into that situation and calling a 2-man rush, right? Where your best rushers, Jones and Crosby, are dropping, and your worst rushers, your rushers who are going to get gassed the most and the easiest, right? The interior guys, Billings won immediately in that rep, right? He just wins immediately. Kyler Murray puts a move on him and just starts, doing the whole thing after 6-7 seconds. Billings he's out of gas.
He's dead.
Right?
Yeah.
And mind you, there was another 20 seconds before Kyler Murray crossed the end zone. So, I think that was an extremely bad call in hindsight. Hindsight's 2020. Maybe they're thinking the ball's gonna come out quick, so no bother rushing Crosby and Jones, right? But Graham would like to have that one back. That was a really, really bad call. And if that's what you want to do, you got to rush Crosby. You got to rush and Jones, right? Drop Andrew Billings and tell him to just put an elbow right into the tight end's gut coming across. Have those big 300-pound guys and just sitting in a crossing lane. Yes, okay, if you want to do that every once in a while, I understand, but you got to do it at least with a 3-man rush. A 2-man rush, gosh, that's not a good look for Graham. Really, really bad. Really bad.
Oh, I could, because a lot of those things, man. Because I was at the game, right, and I had a pretty good seat. I'm a little all-22 seat. I was like, oh, this is great. So I'm just seeing these things happen. I'm seeing the outside just be so open, and then they just started attacking it. They couldn't move the ball inside at all. I mean, the Cardinals are a running team, so they're trying to pound the rock with James Conner inside and stuff like that. And Cliff Kingsbury basically went to the drawing board and was like, they can't handle anything outside right now. If we set up, we do quads and we do all these wide receiver screens and stuff, they have no answer for that right away. And we're going to make them tackle, see how good these guys can tackle, basically. And we saw what happened. That was the frustrating part, because they literally turned to Oklahoma, man. I was mad that I was watching the air raid from Texas Tech. That's basically what you show, the quick sticks, quick little throws. I'm surprised we didn't see any 92 mesh yet, man. I thought we were going to see some 92 mesh after a while, but the quick sticks, the throws, get the ball.
There was one. There was one. There was one. Yeah.
The second half, he was like, all right, if this is what we're going to do, we're going to play some college football then. And they got they had the quarterback to play college football. That's really what happened in that game. Because, you can talk about his dominant performance or whatever, but they literally turned into Oregon, or Texas A&M when he had Cliff at Texas A&M, had Kyler at Texas A&M. They're running their options. They don't put those options on tape, bro. I mean that's the kind of thing that they came up with at halftime. We're gonna run these options, and no, Kyler
Right.
Murray's run options his whole life, right? That's not something that he's not gonna be uncomfortable with. He's gonna read it correctly. He's gonna get rid of the ball just like he did and create huge plays with it because he knows how he is. So they just adjusted, man. I'm because a lot of it I was mad that they got coached by Cliff Kingsbury, bro. Come on,
Outcoached. Outcoached.
really? Cliff Kingsbury,
100%.
Cliff. And I know Cliff is a master. And he's great at adjusting too. I know he is, but uh, it was just kind of frustrating that they didn't. That stick route, man. That they did that so much. And it was like,
Yeah, I
come
mean,
on.
so I showed 4, but I have 8 clips on my computer right now. I had to cut it down, you know? But yeah, pretty
Oh,
bad.
they did it so, and that's how they stopped the pass rush too, man. It was great. They stopped the pass rush that way. That's how they did that. So, yeah, it was. They adjusted really well, man. They did. There's nothing you really can do about it. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so let's transition into the offense real quick before you start.
Okay.
What were they doing on defense to take away besides hanging the safety over Adams because they kept on saying like they were doing a lot on defense. I heard the offensive coaches Josh McDaniels talk about what they were doing all these things to take away Adams. Was it just hanging a safety over the top of him? That
I
was
mean,
it?
basically, they really didn't do too much to take him away, in my opinion. That's kind of like my issue with it is like I feel like they're doing a lot to take him away when he was outside, but when he was inside, they really didn't have an answer. I mean, it was Zayvon Collins on Adams. I mean, the middle of the field was wide open the whole game. So I mean, that's kind of my issue too. They had chances to attack something that was there. And they chose to attack it with more Hunter Renfrow than Devontae Adams, even though I think Devontae Adams had a chance to have some more catches. Um, but they ended up hitting Renfrow in some of those throws. But those same plays, it just didn't work because Derek Carr was under pressure in the second half, so he wasn't able to either get a good pass off or they're batting the ball down because they know they're throwing short passes because Derek Carr's getting rid of the ball so quick. I mean, he was getting rid of the ball fast, right? 2.2 seconds was his average, was his time to throw. But obviously they're scared of the offensive line. That's basically what I learned watching this game. They're terrified of it. It's a problem to them now. It's not just a
Yeah,
problem to us. It is a problem to them. It is a problem for Carr. Carr thinks it's a problem. I mean, that's why he's get rid of the football faster than I've seen him get rid of the football in years. And yeah, I mean that was kind of the issue. And then when they tried to run the ball, if they tried to run the ball, they would get stalled, right?
yeah,
Um, Also, I think if you want them to score a lot of points, I'm going to say this: if you want them to score a lot of points like people do, you just can't run the clock out, run the ball, right? You got to pass.
yeah,
Passing scores points. That's why people pass more these days because they want to score more points. So you got to be able to pass the ball, score points. So I mean that's the kind of importance if you want to see your team blow somebody out in the second half. They got to do it through the air. Right? We don't have Derrick Henry over there. I mean, Derrick Henry's like gonna hit 150 yards in the second half, and I know he's coming up, but I mean that's kind of that old school formula of draining the clock up 20-0, and I just think that the offensive line just got wrecked, and they got issues that they got to fix, or this offense is not gonna flow. The running game, I mean, you can't have Josh Jacobs saving you every single play, which I'm gonna show, especially the second half. Second half, he was basically playing savior on those drives, right? Because I really feel like the Vance Joseph, they had a lot of keys to what they were doing on run defense, and they were crashing a couple plays. I'll show that you'll see like Zach Allen will move early. He'll adjust, right? He'll adjust his position. As a technique, he'll be like a 5 technique. He'll move inside to a 3 and then just crash right before Luminar gets there. He's getting a tackle in the backfield, so that kind of knows that when they got Johnson out there, people aren't thinking run. They're thinking they aren't thinking pass. They're thinking run. So I think they got to pass more out of 21 personnel too. They got
yeah.
to switch that up. They got to pass more out of that and figure that out too. But it was a little too much Matt Collins for me, and then it came and bit them in the butt when he dropped the pass and helped stall the drive. So I don't think 8 targets for him is just too much, and I think they took a lot of targets away from Adams by going to him,
Right.
and I think that's kind of my frustration a little bit too. I just don't get it, and I'm gonna go over that a little bit too. But
All right. Why don't you hop
all right,
into it then?
all right,
Let's
let's
do
get
it.
it. All right, so start off with some Josh Jacobs, man. I thought Josh Jacobs had a really great game. He had 5 missed tackles, only 69 yards, 3.6 yards per carry, but I thought he played really well. All right, so check out this first run right here. Like I said, they mixed in a lot of trap. So you could kind of see like a different type of trap block right here. You see Parham, right? Let this guy go, right? And then you see it's kind of like a fullback wham, right? Wham block from Johnson there, right? So this is good blocking here. You can make the case you want Jacobs maybe to go this way, but you want him to follow his direction. Does a good job sticking it down, getting 6 here. 6 yards is a great run on first down. So, you watch that one once again. This is like probably the best blocking they did on run all day, right? This is like perfect executed. See, everybody got good blocks from Simpson, Miller, Moreau. Cotton gets up to second level. Good job right there. Parham gets a good block, right? Just good blocks all around right there. All right, next run. This is, we got basically, you call this power O or you call this G lead, right? Because we're getting Johnson coming to this hole as well on this pool, and we're getting Cotton pulling around, right? And then, of course, Jacobs is following these two. So go ahead and check this one out. And I think during this game, I think Cotton, he's struggling with pulling, and that's why, you know, I said before that I wanted James Parham to play over James. I don't think that was very smart of me to say. Now that I look back at it, I think that we got to go back to getting Parham at right guard here to get some of these better blocks, because I think they did a lot better the week before. And you see, he's not fast enough to get to 51 here, so then Johnson has to make up for him. But Jacobs still does a good job of beating Collins here, and this is what we're talking about, making men miss and him creating, which I thought he did incredible this game. Still found a way to get pushed forward and get 4. Sorry on that one. Get 4 on this one. All right, this was another great run on this one. So 42, he's crashing right here. Parham, he had some issues getting to guys really quick and getting inside. These guys, number 90 was able to beat him inside a lot, right? But this is a great read by Jacobs. So you see Waller gets pushed back here too by 42, blows this play up. But then you can see Josh Jacobs make a great read, get outside, and then of course he does his thing, little dead leg here, get a little dead leg, boom, right there. So I mean, Josh Jacobs was doing his thing this whole game, right? And he still had 19 carries, and a lot of people want him to get the ball more in the second half, but we'll get into a little bit about that. I mean, sometimes it just didn't work out for him. All right, so here we go. Next run, little mid zone, and once again, I talked about this. Once again, you see 90 just beating Parham to the punch, right? Right. So you get a little split zone on this one, beating him right there on the split zone action. So split outside zone there, right? But watch Jacobs here. So Jacobs has 90 right in his face, right? This play could be dead. It's over. Nope. Cut back inside, right? So now he still has good blocking from everybody else. It's good blocks from everybody else. You can see Colton Miller's winning. You got a good block from Cotton on Collins. You got a good block from Simpson right there. Even Waller has a good block on 45. You got Johnson coming up here, right? And then here you go. Cotton loses his block. So what does Jacobs do? Jukes this man inside, right? So, and then you got a good finish here. So that was the best 5-yard run you'll see in
Yeah.
a while. So
Wow.
we'll show this again. So this, like I said, is inside, this is split outside zone, right? Parham is beat immediately. All right, he is beat immediately. Jacobs makes that dude miss, right? then Cotton loses his block, makes that guy miss, gets 5. You know what I'm saying? So we can talk about keep running the ball, but it just wasn't like that. I don't think it was that effective as people wanted to make it seem, because the run blocking was so bad. It was just Josh Jacobs being a superhuman, in my opinion. He was just balling. We'll see some more of this. This is a pure halfback draw I like what they run right here, halfback draw, and then I think Jacobs does a good job being patient, setting up that block, allow Cotton to get there, and it's getting squeezed and getting inside, and he gets 8.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so he was getting some tough yards, man. He was playing really well, in my opinion, really well. Here's another one, right? Get a little zone action here, and then you see Waller's getting beat inside again. Right, Waller's getting beat inside there. Boom. He does a good job of cutting back. Look at that, cut back inside. Like, so it's the same. Just run the ball, run the clock out. Was it that simple? I don't know. I mean, because we had one play, he got tackled, 2nd and 14. He got tackled right away. But you kind of see on this, this gap run look right here. He does a good job of seeing Waller get beat. The Simpson, he's getting beat there too, right? And you got a free guy there, and he does a good job of having guys run into each other and getting some yards, man.
Oh
And
my
it was there all
gosh.
day. He was doing this all day, man, all day. Here, right? Here's another one. So these are trap block again, right? So we got trap right here, right? You got trap block, and for some reason Simpson does not block. I don't know what's going on here with this one. For some reason, they just maybe the linebacker just does a good job of just kind of hiding himself here, but Simpson does not block him at all. It kind of leaves a free man. So it's Josh Jacobs 1-on-1. Free man. Nope. He ain't tackling me. And then here we go. And then he has David Collins coming. And you see the dead leg. You see it. You already see what's about to happen. Boop. Nope.
Oh my.
Turns out to 10. So that's like this is, we could talk about the run game and how the run game was looking, but it was really Josh Jacobs being a superhuman. I'm telling you, these are some of the best runs I've seen. I don't know what his nerdy rushing yards over expectations was, but I hope it was the best in the league because he should have literally had like 30 yards rushing.
Right.
Make him miss dead leg one more time. He was phenomenal. I thought he played really well, but you know we'll get to him being a gap runner too a little bit here. But let's check out another one right here. Split some action here, right? And you see it one more time. See 90s beat Parham already, right? 94, he makes a miss again. It's just incredible, man. It was just nuts. But here we go. Let's talk about something else here. That I want to talk about Josh Jacobs at the goal line, and we talked about this before. He's improved, right? But he doesn't have touchdowns in here. We haven't got any touchdowns from him. He had the slip on the game before against the Chargers, and some of it is popping up again. So of course we got this block, and of course 90's already got this on this kind of this wham block, and he was just keying off the ball all day. I don't know what he saw or what Parham was doing, but he was keying off the ball all day. Number 90, Ledbetter. I think it's actually his parents. I saw his parents in line, so I think his family was there, so he came to show out. And then but then Johnson does a good job cleaning up that block, right? But I think we're at the goal line. I think Josh Jacobs has to see how tough Jalen Thompson is. I think he's got to see how tough he is and try to run through him and try to see how he can tackle, right? He's definitely got a little weight on him. I want to see how physical he is, and he kind of runs into nothing. So we still see some issues there. And then here's a key drive in the second half. It's the first time they got the ball, right? And they kind of get a 2nd and 9 here, and we'll talk about this one too. Of course, you get the same power O look, right? And of course, we do know that it's supposed to go here, right? With the design of the play is there, right? But sometimes you got to have some patience, and you got to find some lanes, right? And I think that's importance of gap running. So if you ever watch Le'Veon Bell was the ultimate power gap runner. And the reason why is because with gap runs, a lot of the times it's not like inside zone where you just read. You have to have patience with gap runs, right? That's why he's master of duo god there, right? And he kind of just doesn't do anything here. And I think he has a chance to get some extra yards and kind of make this cut. But for some reason, he kind of gets froze and doesn't do some of the things he's doing earlier that we were watching. And it leads to 1 yard and 2nd and 9, and they end up stalling on the drive. So I thought Jacobs was just played extremely well, right? But there's still some things with gap runs that he's still more of a zone back, but he's definitely shown a lot better as a gap runner. But a lot of it was just his ability to be great and make people miss. So I want to talk about Haas Z Juke because they ran this play like 10 times, and I just want to kind of show a little bit of why Devontae Adams, or I say that Devontae Adams, he should be getting the football more, and they should be looking his way. And it was kind of something different that they weren't doing as much. We can talk about cloud coverages or whatever. It's still something that you got to find ways to get him the football. All right. So you see here, but what you're going to get with Haas, right? So Haas is a seam and a quick hitch, right? So you got seam, quick hitch, right? And then you got the Z juke. So he can do all types of things. Okay. So he can go in, he can go out. He can go out, he can come back in, or he can just stop, right? So there's a lot of options that you can do. And then you got one of the best route runners here in the NFL. Like it just is, it's money all day. So first one right here, he's got a blitz off the edge, right? Or sorry, simulated pressure. Basically, you got Buda Baker coming with simulated pressure right there, right? And you kind of can see that Adams he's open, right? But he decides to go to Matt Collins. Even if he went to the side, open to the side, he might be able to hit Foster Moreau right there too as well. But we're going to Matt Collins here, right? Maybe you get the same amount of yardage. That's fine, maybe. But you got the best player, best receiver in football with the linebacker, and you got Matt Collins out here with a corner, linebacker, corner. I just think you should make the other way. But that's just we'll see how you guys feel about that. I don't know. That's just me. So you kind of see Buda Baker right there with the simulated pressure. You see Golden drop, simulated pressure. He's getting rid of the ball quick. Of course, it wasn't a good snap, but you kind of see that Carr already made the decision pre-snap where he was going with his football. He wasn't going to. He's going to Matt Collins. All right, here we go. Haas sees Juke again. Same exact thing. Seam, curl, seam, hitch, Z Juke right here, right? Same exact play. Once again, right? But like I said, Derek Carr, he's already throwing to Matt Collins, but Adams is open, right? He's open, and you don't know what's gonna happen with there. And that's another completion. But we get to Mac, he gets the first down, right? I guess it's fine. I'm saying maybe I'm nitpicking a little bit. You can say whatever you want. You can say I'm nitpicking a little bit. That's fine. But I think that you got to get Adams in the game, and I think you can kind of see it sometimes. Yeah, they're blitzing. You got to get rid of the football, right? And you're not trusting the offensive line. You're just trying to get rid of the football quick. It's the quickest way you can, and that's fine. You get a first down. I get it, 100%, right? But you kind of see when we got Hunter Renfrow running the Z juke, right? Same play, same concept. Hot Z juke, same concept, right? And you get Hunter Renfrow running it, right? And you kind of see how it was just open all day. Look at that, 20 yards. It was literally there all day, and it felt like they didn't even try to exploit it. Like if you got these surfaces on the sideline, right, and we're looking at the surfaces, and you see these things, it's like why aren't we running this play multiple times? We're switching out Adams and Renfro and moving the football, right? Now here's a big play right here with they're running Haas on this side. Okay, they're gonna be running Haas on this side. But we're getting a different look on this one. We're getting Jacobs on basically a quick out, and then we got Waller. He's gonna be running basically a seam route. Okay, now here we go once again. Now we got Adams right here, and I know he got Thompson right here over the top. But no, not Thompson. I think it's Buda Baker, right? Buda Baker sitting here right over the top, and I understand that. But we just got Adams. He's right there, right? But Jacobs, he really just beat his man. But to be fair to Carr on this one, I mean, he throws a great ball to Waller, right? And Waller's got to catch this football, and he doesn't, and he gets knocked out, right? So, but like I said, I mean, if there has to be a focus and a importance to get this guy to football. I don't care what has to happen here. We got to get him the football, and It frustrated me. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It was very frustrating because we're getting back to another point here on this one. We check it on the back end, right? And I understand it. You want to try to get other guys in football. That's fine. You got 17 targets, whatever, right? But it's just you got time, man. It's just right. But Waller got to catch that ball too. He's got to hold on to that football. So it's both ways, right? But but this is what I'm talking about, where it really came back to hurt him, right? On this one, because we got Hostage again, right? And he opens up, and he's getting a little pressure this time, right? And he kind of doesn't step into it. He kind of fades off through it, so it ends up going high, right? But Matt Collins ends up dropping it, even though it hit him in his hands, right? High throw. I understand that. He still got to make that catch to the NFL. But like I said, I mean, if you know, one, that's a hold right there, and you maybe even get that call if you throw it to him, right? Because it's Devontae Adams. But even then, I mean, Adams still has separation here. You can get him the football, and he can make a play and get at least 12 yards. He beat Byron Murphy no matter what, right? So, that was frustrating for me a little bit. As I say, maybe I'm nitpicking. I just want Devontae Adams to get the football. That's kind of my thing, and I don't care about all the semantics of Derek Carr or whatever that goes around him. We got to figure out how to get Devontae Adams the football. I know some of these other guys might not get the ball as much. It might not be as much Hunter Renfro. It might not be as much Darren Waller, right? But I think they have to have some kind of game plan to do that. I don't know if that's Josh McDaniels wanting, Carr to go to Matt Collins. I don't know if that's part of the game plan they wanted to do. They want to get rid of the ball on that play, but it's really rare to go to the hitch on that play, man. You got usually they go to the Z juke, right? So it was odd with that, but it felt like that he was trying to get other people involved on purpose, like he was trying to spread the ball around. And I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's worth it for them to win. They got to win, man. It's time to win, and we can't worry about people's feelings or who wants to get the ball or this guy's open or this guy's open besides Devontae or whatever. It's not about feelings. We don't care about that right now. We care about what's going to win. Got the best receiver in football, and I don't want to say this, but it feels like if I was Brady, I just don't think he's going to spread the ball around. He's going to keep throwing Adams until they can stop it. And I think that the Chargers could not stop that. They ran that all day against Chargers, and the Chargers couldn't stop it. And he was getting 12 yards a pop. It just didn't make any sense to me why that changed up. So I was not happy about that. I'm not gonna lie. So, but Josh Jacobs looked phenomenal. I thought you guys could already see it with what was wrong with the offensive line. They did not look good. So um, you already know. Your thoughts, PD. You're on mute still.
My fault. Is there a chemistry problem with Adams and Carr right now?
I don't think they got a chemistry problem. Not really. I really feel like that he was just trying to get other people involved. I don't know why. I just have no idea why. So
Because there was that one, obviously, that everyone was talking about on Twitter today, but it seemed like Adams was supposed to sit and Carr threw it in the wrong place,
yes,
or that's what Carr was anticipating. So like, are there more elements of like these two being out of sync?
yeah, because even on that one, I mean, I still think that he could have bought some more time a little bit. Like just moved to the left a little bit and bought a little more time and hit Adams, right? And if he really wanted to do that, I think he kind of tried to get rid of it quick. He tried to anticipate it. So I don't know. Maybe he was supposed to say. I don't know exactly on that one because I tried to look up the play and in the play that the route designs that I found, he wasn't supposed to sit. So maybe it's a new one. I don't know. The playbook I have is from 6 years ago. You know what I mean? So they could have added some different wrinkles, maybe that. But it felt like he was trying to anticipate it more and
Yeah,
anticipate what he was going to do. So maybe Carr thought he was going to sit. He tried to anticipate what Adams was going to do, and Adams did something different. I don't know.
yeah.
I mean that's for something they got to figure out. But yeah, McDaniels, he's gonna scheme Adams open like that. You want the ball to go there. So
Yeah,
yeah, for
right.
sure.
You wanted to throw that for sure.
Yeah. Uh huh. I mean, yeah, because they got to get that down though, man. That's the thing to me. If their chemistry's off, then they need to throw more,
Yeah,
right?
they need to get more reps. Yes,
Yeah, because
I'm with you. I'm with you
because
on
you
that.
if you watch Carr throw to Waller, right? I'm watching this. You watch Carr throw to Waller, man. He's not having some of these issues that he's having, right? Fades, their fades are more sound, right? He's hitting Waller better in space. I mean, even the throw that he missed Waller up the middle. I mean, it was a lot closer than it was any throw he's been throwing at Adams deep. There's definitely some kind of something off there a little bit, but
Yes,
I think they have the chemistry, but it's just the timing of things. Like that's what I'm saying with Waller. Carr has the timing. He knows where Waller wants the ball. He knows where he wants to go, where he wants to move. He's getting the ball to Waller where Waller wants to. So like the fade route he threw to him in the end zone, it was perfectly placed. But he's been practicing that with Waller for the longest. Even both fades he threw to him. One was pass
right,
interference, right? Both fades that he threw to him were right where Waller could get it. And then the week before, Derek Carr he's missing. He's missing Adams on some of those fades, and they're not getting it back shoulder. And they got to keep working on that too. They got to get that down so they can get some easy touchdowns to Devontae Adams. So I'm really on throw to Devontae mode. That's kind of how I am. I think they played bad offensive football the week before. It was a lot worse in this game, right? And they almost
right.
beat a way better team. And the reason why they almost beat a way better team is because Devontae Adams had 10 catches for 141 yards. And I think that's a big thing. And you have to make sure that continues to happen. That has to happen. There's no other way around it. And I hope that is they got the spread the ball around thing out the way, you know. But I hope Devontae Adams is never fourth in targets ever again on this team, ever,
Yeah,
ever.
that's
Sick. I'm
not a
sorry.
good look. Not a
It's
good
not a
look.
good look. But yeah, the offensive line's a problem. You guys already saw it. I don't know how to more explain that, but just from watching Jacques Jacobs make every play, they just can't be trusted. They can't be trusted to run the clock out, run the ball. They really can't be trusted to step back and allow Carr to throw deep. It's just not a good look. But
Yeah, I mean, offensive line is definitely handicapping this team. Turnovers, not a good look. I think this team, despite some of these like misfires between Adams and Carr,
mm-hmm.
still in a position to win both these games. Despite that, right?
Yeah,
If not for these turnovers, if not for this offensive line being, unable to run block in key
yeah,
situations, right? So yeah, I think we like to focus on Carr. There's definitely other huge problems on this offense right now, that need to be fixed, and I mean, you can talk about those in tandem with talking about Carr because Carr is definitely struggling so
yeah,
far
yeah.
this year.
Yeah, he's struggling. It's more like accuracy with him. I mean, he's having some trouble with accuracy wise. He's throwing off his back foot a lot. It's just it's more about that, and that's what they're trying to get the ball out of his hands quick. You can kind of tell that McDaniel's probably ripped his ass for turning the ball over because he was not trying to test windows this week. It was a lot more safer plays, safer throws,
Right.
safer looks. So he definitely got on his ass about turning the ball over and being aggressive. Um, but they gotta find ways to scheme it up because I honestly believe like they literally could live off Devonte Adams playing slot, doing all those Z jukes. They could live with that, and they could
Yeah.
eat off that until teams have to figure out to stop it. Because what are you gonna do? You can start playing man to man, then right, and then you got to start playing some. You have to move some corners inside. You can't put a linebacker on him inside, right? When he's in that inside position, he's gonna kill a linebacker. What are you going to do, right? It's a lot of zone defenses in the NFL right now, so there's not a lot of man, not a lot of pure man. I mean, the Titans are gonna play man, right? So you're gonna be
Right.
able to match up Devonte Adams on linebackers all day. and you be able to run hostage, and he can, and that's
On early downs for sure. Yeah.
on early downs. Yeah, early downs. They can run that on early downs like all day. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
they can get that going. But they got to work on getting their chemistry outside, and that will help the offense. Get Adams the ball. Like even at the end of the game, like we're running a screen route. We're doing a wide receiver screen flat. Like we need to be throwing that ball to Devontae Adams. And I said to the radio, like, what are we doing? Like we're throwing a screen route, and we need some yards. Who's the better to get us 6 or 7? It's him. So
Yeah.
I doubt he fumbles in that situation, right? I doubt it. I haven't seen
Doubt
it.
it.
I doubt it. So, we've seen Hunter fumble a lot. I like it's so obviously that wasn't a surprise when that happened. But yeah, man, the second half was just it really felt like they didn't adjust to what was happening or try to do something different. It
Yeah.
felt like they just kept trying to do the same thing.
On both sides. On both
Yeah,
sides of the ball for sure.
it was crazy, man.
Well, I mean, obviously, ugly loss, pretty bad. It's actually one of the worst probably collapses we've seen in Raider Nation. Obviously there's a lot of emotions, a lot of thoughts about the game, but hopefully this breakdown, to the audience, hopefully this breakdown help you make sense some of the schematic things that were happening that contributed to this collapse. But it's not just all X's and O's. Teams got to figure out how to win as a team,
Yeah,
and under Josh McDaniels and with the situational calls that are happening under this new regime, and so that's all still obviously clearly a big work in progress right now. So hopefully we have some better findings next week when we do TDL.
yeah, it's something because yeah, it's just odd to watch them get out coached a little bit. I think that's kind of what we're shocked about, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
what the hell, man? Like no adjustments, no nothing. No trying to work things out. Or to me, it's like you got to find ways to get Adams football. I don't care who's double teaming or what their scheme is. You can find it out. He's so versatile. It doesn't matter. He's not like
Right.
a big it's not like Mike Evans or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like he's basically a Z. So move him like a Z. Get him the ball.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. For sure. 100%. Is all right. Well, we can go on and on. Let's call it. Let's call it right now. I'm not going to ask you any more questions, Marcus.
Okay.
We're almost at the hour mark right now. Why don't you just take us away here?
Yeah, all right, everybody. So, thanks for watching. You already know what to do. Subscribe. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at DMarkJohnNFL, at Beauty Williams in 18, pandasubs.com, TDL, 35% off. Make sure you guys check us out there. Peace.
Peace, y'all. Later.